Hello and welcome to this fifth chapter about Jobava London Attack. In this one we look at the Grünfeld setup. So how does it appear? d4, d5, knight c3, knight f6. We got our Jobava attack. And now black plays g6. So this is what I call a Grünfeld setup. It also can appear in a bit different move order. For example, white plays d4, black can start with knight f6, then they switch back to d5 and they go g6. So this Grunfeld setup is usually will be played by players who like Grunfeld, of course. Against normal queens play d4 and c4, and sometimes King's Indian players as well will play d5 just to not let us play e4. Yeah. So black's idea is basically to set up with the fianchetto bishop and castles. And this bishop c8 will be going also somewhere, maybe f5, maybe g4. So that's their idea. How do we play against this? We of course make our normal e3 move, bishop g7, and now very important idea to remember: if you play this way, you need to go h4. This is a typical idea, pushing Harry the h-pawn, because we have this hook on g6. We want, if possible, to advance h5. So remember, against Queen's Gambit, yeah, when they play e6, we went g4. But here we have a target, this g6 pawn, so we go h4. And our intention is actually h5. So let's first quickly check some mistakes. Knight bd7, of course, is a big blunder. We know that after e3 we're already kind of threatening to go knight b5, and here he even allowed it. So we're winning some material, no way to defend c5. Another typical mistake we've seen lots of times, c5, yeah, this typical move. Way too early to push it, and since we played e3, our knight is protected on b5, no longer some checks possible, so they have to go this way. And here we play similar way like in Queen's Gambit, yeah, when they missed and they played too early the c5. We went bishop e2, we went h5. If they stop us, we do this typical pyramid and protect the knight, of course. And next we go for this knight e5 and g4 blast open the king side. So prepare the g4 break. Very easy to understand. Okay, so these two were mistake moves. And another very common mistake idea if black doesn't know what he's doing. It can happen on lower levels in online play. They might think this h5 is not really a threat and they castle too early. So basically it's brave or foolish, yeah, castling right into it. So white's plan, now white executes their threat and we sack an exchange here. So what are the moves? Usually they would take with the knight. Best move is actually not to take it at all, but most players, when they play castling, they seem to think that this is not a threat, so most probably they will take with something. But the best move we'll soon see is c5. Okay, if they don't take it, if they play bishop g4, this doesn't stop anything. Just play f3. And if they take, we trap the bishop. Yeah, so this doesn't work. If they go back somewhere, we just push the pawns on and we attack. So if they take with the pawn, just don't sack the exchange now. Yeah, because there is bishop g4. We play normally. This is not, doesn't even feel like losing a pawn. Their whole king side cover is messed up. So we go just bishop d3. And we attack. We intend to now take the knight, bring the queen out. Bishop f6 is a major threat. Yeah, so they cannot really take with the pawn. They will take with the knight. So let's see that. And of course we go sack the exchange. This exchange sack works because we gain couple tempos. We gain some attack on d5 already. Yeah, so they have to waste time defending this d5. And our plan with white is just very simple. We just bring out the pieces. You see the arrows here. We want to castle long, and we will put the rook on h1. So this is major attack for just an exchange, since black king has only one defender at the moment. So queen can also drop back if it's attacked, or we can attack ourselves on this diagonal and so on. So let's see a couple moves. If they play e6, yeah, let's see some sample lines how we attack. Knight f3, knight d7. Let's say they bring out the knight. Whenever our queen is attacked, we can often drop it on h4 or h2. So here we go h2 with tempo, hitting this pawn, and we go knight e5. Very typical move. Our next ideas are marked, yeah, g4 and rook h1, and this will be a decisive attack. If instead e6 they go f5, we can do this maneuver with the queen immediately. We pressure this pawn. Yeah, they cannot push it because we just win a piece. And if they protect it, we do our typical plan. Yeah, here we castle long. We might even just to kind of quicken our attack. Yeah, just take this knight, rook h1, queen g4, knight e2. Yeah, next ideas are knight e5, g4, and so on. So black is not in time to bring defenders to the king side usually in these lines, so we just overwhelm them with a quantity of attackers. Yeah, so this queen h5, I hope you get. Yeah, you can always check with engine, but I assure you this is like big advantage to white, this attack. So let's see the best move now for black. This is c5. Yeah, if they allow us h5, this is the best move. Just counter attack on the center, in the center, and we go hg, and they have couple options. The best move is fg, not to kind of keep the h5 not open. But let's see the hg pawn first. Then we intend queen d2. We intend long castling, and queen d2 will be going to h2 later on, like this. Yeah, we push the pawns, and queen will be ready from d2 to go to h2 and attack on the open h line. Some sample line. Castle long, c4. This was like from the model game played. Yeah, black is also quick to attack. They even sack a pawn. Of course, we don't take it to open him line. We attack ourselves, and we go queen h2 next with big attack. If they capture with the f pawn, we have to remember in this position, you could play other moves, but best move is dc. We grab this pawn. We kind of put the pressure on d5 a little bit, and we just keep on developing. And after queen a5, this is a nice maneuver to remember. Knight is going on b3. Then we probably go long castles and attack further. Yeah, so if they allow this h5, they have to know this c5 counter. That's the, I would say, the only reasonable way to play for black. Okay, so they castled short. This was a dubious move. Yeah, way too early. What else can they play? They can stop our h-pawn advance in some way. Let's see some c6 move. Yeah, when they still kind of don't stop it. And now h5 is not gaining in such strength as versus castle. Yeah, because we could still play it in the blitz. We could try it, but it's no longer as effective. Could still go for this like quick development, but now, yeah, black doesn't castle. He plays h5, and it's a messy game. Still good for blitz though, I think so. But instead of pushing the pawn, we could just do smart idea, just support this h5 next move. And then now they really have to go h5. And our typical idea is bring out the pieces. Now that they stopped this h5, knight usually goes to e5. Yeah, let's say they exchange. We go long castle, of course, typical in Jobava, and we prepare. Our next breaks will be e4 or g4. So g4 is usually, I like g4 because it's, if they castle at any time kingside, we're gonna just crack open this kingside with g4, and this is an interesting play for white, so very easy to understand. So if they go c6, yeah, if they go h6, kind of stopping, yeah, if we go now h5, they might take, or they go g5. So we just go knight f3. Our intention is to go knight e5, finish development, and later on castle long. Yeah, so bishop g4 is a typical move, stopping us from knight e5. Yeah, but then a very nice move, we're just stepping out of the pin, queen d2, and we are saying we want to go next knight e5. Yeah, if they don't take, we go it there. They have to give up this bad bishop, trade up this bad bishop, and then we do this sort of thing. These double pawns are not really weak because they're in one long pawn chain, so don't be afraid like you had weaknesses. Also, it gives you g file, so long castles, and white has very dynamic play chances for both sides, I would say. Yeah, maybe, probably most likely we will go e5 next, bring out the bishop, bring the rook, some pressure there, we'll have space, so very interesting play. So h6, we just go, yeah, for typical knight e5 if allowed, and long castles. So now we come to the, I think, the main move. Usually you should expect this most. They will just stop your h pawn with h5. You should expect this move the most. And what do? We still go for this knight f3, knight e5 idea. We want to later prepare this g4 still. So they castle. If they go bishop g4, I think you know the move. And it was from the c6 line. We still step out of the pin. We could do it with bishop e2 and knight e5, same idea, but really we don't want to exchange this good bishop for their bad one. Yeah, let them take on f3. Let them take, open our g line, and this would be a sample line. Yeah, again e4, knight bd7, and let's look a bit further. Yeah, we push e5. How do we attack later? If they go knight h7, we just drop the bishop, and our very nice idea is put the bishop on d3 and try to just push f pawn and sack it, maybe even to open the line. So this is a very nice idea. If they drop the knight to e8, then we can do this sort of thing. Yeah, if queen retreats somewhere, we win the exchange, and if they play f6, that terribly weakens this whole structure, and we can go now for attack. We don't care about double pawns as long as we have big attack. So this is like sample lines how to play. Of course, maybe you can analyze this further on your own. Just showing this queen d2, very nice idea. Just step out of the way, let them take, strengthen our center, open lines. Okay, so usually they would just castle before going bishop g4, and we go typical move knight e5. Now our next idea is queen d2, long castle with the inclusion of f3, maybe bishop e2 and g4. So these will be upcoming moves for white. So the best move here for black is, from my practice, and usually the most popular move is c5. It's best for black. Very common move. They want to open the c line. They want to counter in the center and attack us. Yeah, because they see that we're gonna castle long. So before that, let's check a couple more moves. c6 is way too slow, I think. We just go immediately to crack open the king side with this typical g4. We're crashing through already, and very good position. Yeah, we're intent just to open everything here. So this is way too slow, this c6. Bishop f5 might be played early on, but again, now that bishop is out, we can just hit it with g4. Very nice move. Because you see they didn't manage to challenge our knight, so we can support this g4 break, and a very nice attack for white is happening. It reminds me a bit of maybe Sicilian dragon or something. Yeah, like white is just pushing these pawns. sample line could be, yeah. Let me show you a couple moves. h5, queen b6, h6, yeah, and very nice distraction now. Knight d7, nice tactic. Takes, why do we play this? h7, check. And king is kind of driven out in the open on this diagonal. So this is of course computer line, but we have big attack here. If they go here, we just win the queen. If they put the rook somehow here, then attack continues. Yeah, we might just take the knight and play something else. So you can investigate this on, but just to show you how violent this attack can be. Yeah, so let's come back out to the main move. c5, of course, will be played most likely. Queen d2. Yeah, we intend, like I showed you, we intend f3, g4, bishop e2 maybe, or long castles. These moves, they take usually on d4. We take back, knight c6. Yeah, they are fast to pressure the center. And we go f3, important move. We kind of control this e4 point. We're thinking in future, yeah, we're preparing g4 as well. And now the most popular move is bishop f5 still. So if they go queen b6, an illustration, yeah, how our attack is happening. Castle long. This queen b6 is seems active, yeah, but it does block the b pawn, and kind of blocks their attack a bit. So we take now on c6, and it's a very unexpected move, maybe. Yeah, this knight was so active here. Why do we exchange here? Because we want to take control of the c5 pawn, and you see our bishop is also holding the b8, so no rook can come here at the moment. And what we do, we assert dominance of the c5 square, and we basically stop their queenside attack. So b8 is controlled and c5 no longer possible, and then of course we'll continue our own attack like this. So this knight c6, if they take with the queen, sample line, we do this sort of thing. Yeah, bishop e5, always a good move to neutralize that bishop. And if they move the knight, we can always trade this defender. So, and g4, we prepare g4. That's usually the main break in this position. So let's come back to the to this bishop f5 main move. And now I'm suggesting many moves were played here with white, like, I don't know, castles long, bishop e2, and so on. Maybe they are kind of threatening knight b4. So in order to kind of deal with all these counterattacks, a very good move is bishop b5. From my own practice, we found this move, and this is a very strong move. Often idea is just to trade this bishop on c6, you see, and again we gain this dark square c5 and leaves black with no queenside attack. Also g4 will be coming, so any knight b4 move can be easily parried by this move, for example. Yeah, and then we could kick the knight or do whatever. So this bishop b5 not only threatens to take, but it can come back even to defend our queenside, yeah, when we castle here. So very nice move. And the main idea for black is rook c8, but I guess most players would be scared about this move, losing their exchange like that. So they might not go even rook c8, yeah, but this is the strongest move. They might go something like knight e5, but then we get a strong attack like this. We sack the pawn temporarily, we bring all the pieces, and we go bishop h6, exchanging the defender, preparing g4. Can investigate this position on your own, yeah, but it's just a pawn down, probably will win it back, and we have huge initiative here. So rook c8, but why winning an exchange is not a good idea? Yeah, they have to know, black already has to know this thing, so it's already like 12 move, yeah, so some players definitely on your level won't even reach this position. So why taking this exchange is risky for white. Of course, if they go here, then it's fine, yeah, we win exchange, but usually they sack it for this dark square bishop, so that's why. and gives big compensation for black on the dark squares. So see, this bishop is super powerful, and they will have a big attack if we castle long. So that's how this compensation is for black for on the dark squares. So you can investigate this on your own, but here we don't take with the knight, we take with the bishop. Yeah, that was our idea why we played bishop b5. And we go again this typical knight a4. We block their queenside play. Knight will be going to c5 or just controlling the square. And at this point you're ready to execute your last two moves, like castle long, knight c5, and prepare g4. Yeah, so knight e4, knight d7. Of course, we eliminate this knight to get our own knight to c5. And next move will be long castles and prepare g4. So this is like how we should play against if they know all the moves. And I think white has engine shows equal after bishop b5, but it doesn't matter if you know the plans better. You will gain time in the game. You will know what you're doing. Yeah, an opponent might mess up somewhere. So try to study these, try to understand how you play. Yeah, they know all these moves. But I think this is a very dangerous system. If they play this Grünfeld setup, the super dangerous this h4 attack against black. Even if they know all these moves, there will still be a very fighting game. Yeah, and you will have chances for sure. So thanks for watching. Next setup will be Perk and Modern, and only a couple videos remaining. Then we'll probably look at some model games as well. So see you in the next video. Bye bye.